So I was looking into some upcoming IPOs, and this one, Denta Water and Infra Solutions, it's got my attention.
Oh, yeah, I've actually seen some stuff about that one. Seems interesting, right? They're in the water and infrastructure space, if I remember correctly.
Exactly. It's a pretty big sector, and I'm curious about what they're doing, especially with the whole focus on groundwater recharge, which is pretty important these days.
Right. And it's not just some niche thing. They're working on big projects like wastewater management for Bengaluru, and also contributing to the government's Jal Jeevan Mission.
Wow, that's a pretty significant contribution. That kind of real world impact is pretty compelling. They've got those projects like Birapura, Higher Magaluru List, and KC Valley actually showing they can deliver the results, right?
Definitely, it's not just on paper. They've got a track record, which is really important when considering an IPO. I mean, it's real world application.
So, what exactly do they do? Like, in a nutshell, I'm trying to get my head around their whole operation.
Well, they're basically into designing, installing, and commissioning water management infrastructure. So, kind of like end to end solutions in the water sector. Actually, a one stop shop.
Okay, I see. So, from planning all the way to execution, it seems they've got it covered. What about the other side of the business? I saw something about agriculture and a beach resort.
Yeah, that's right. They've diversified their portfolio. I mean, it's pretty smart. They own some agricultural land in Karnataka where they grow coffee, pepper, and cardamom, and also operate a beach resort in Udupi, which has its own facility management agreement for revenue.
That's a pretty interesting mix of ventures. So they're not completely reliant on just the infrastructure side, which could be a good thing, right? It's like diversifying your investment portfolio in a way.
Precisely. It adds stability, having multiple income streams can help mitigate risks. So, yeah, it's a plus. It's like not putting all your eggs in one basket.
So, what's the deal with the IPO itself? What's the issue size and the price range?
Okay, so the IPO is a fresh issue of 220.5 crore rupees with the price range of 279 to 294 rupees per share. The lot size is 50 shares, so the minimum investment comes to about 14,700 rupees.
Okay, so the price is set and it opens on January 22nd, closing on the 24th, right?
Exactly. And they are looking to list on both BSE and NSE on January 29th. So the whole process is fairly quick.
That's good to know. Now, when it comes to the money they're raising, what do they plan to use it for?
Well, the main objective is to meet the company's working capital needs and for general corporate purposes as well. So that money is primarily going back into the company to help it grow and operate.
Makes sense. They need the funds to support their projects and operations, I guess, and fuel future growth. So, what about their financials? What do their numbers look like?
Well, their total revenue has been steadily increasing, going from 32.07 million rupees in 2021 to 175.75 million rupees in 2023. Their profit after tax is also on the rise, reaching 50.11 million rupees in 2023.
Okay, those numbers look pretty healthy. It's always a good sign when revenue and profits are growing, right?
Absolutely, it shows they're on the right track. Plus, their total assets also increased from 42.23 million rupees in 2021 to 123.28 million rupees in 2023. It reflects growth in terms of overall value.
Okay, so a company that's growing with rising revenues and profits. What about their debt levels? I mean, that can be a big factor,
Right, their debt levels are actually quite low, which is really encouraging. It means they're not overly reliant on borrowed money to run their operations.
That's really positive. It means that the company isn't under a lot of pressure from lenders, which definitely reduces the risk.
Exactly. And they've got a strong management team, which is crucial, And their order book seems to be solid as well.
That sounds pretty promising. Now, what are the risks that someone should consider before investing in this IPO? I mean, no investment is totally risk-free.
Definitely, that's true. There's always the possibility of market fluctuations, and changes in government policies or delays in project execution. So investors need to be aware of those.
Right. There's always that possibility of external factors affecting the business. Anything else in particular regarding Denta that might be risky?
Well, like any growing company, there can be risks related to scaling up operations and managing resources efficiently. I mean, it's always important to keep an eye on the execution of their plans.
Yeah, growing too fast can sometimes be problematic. That is true. So, what's your overall take on this IPO after looking at all the details?
Well, I think it's pretty interesting. They are in a sector that is growing with significant importance. Their financials are improving and they have good track record, but investors need to do their research and consider their own risk tolerance.
Okay, I hear you. It is important for people to make an informed decision. One thing I'm always keen on are the different opinions out there.
Right. From what I've seen, there are some differing views. Some analysts are pretty positive about their growth prospects, while others are a bit cautious. So it's good to look at various sources.
Yeah, it's always wise to get multiple perspectives, right? Not just rely on one source. It's like reading multiple reviews before buying something online.
Exactly. And if you're considering applying, it's also good to understand how the IPO application process works, especially with the UPI mandate stuff, right?
That's right. That part with the UPI mandate and the cutoff time is a good thing to keep in mind. It's like setting a reminder for an important appointment.
Yeah, the cutoff time for the UPI mandate is 5 p.m. on January 24th. So you'll need to make sure everything is in order before then.
Absolutely. And I think it's also worth looking at their registrar, Integrated Registry MGD, Sir PV, in case we need to contact them for any queries or issues.
Yes, definitely. And also make sure to check the lead manager of the IPO, SMC Capitals Ltd. They can also provide insights into how the IPO is structured.
That makes sense. It's good to be prepared and know who to contact if we need to. So, to summarize, Denta Water and Infra Solutions seems like a growing company in a vital sector with a mix of ventures, positive financials, and a solid track record.
Yeah, exactly. They've got diverse income streams, low debt, and a good order book. But there are some risks involved, like in every investment, like project execution and market conditions.
Right. And that's really important. Investors should weigh the pros and cons before making any decisions. As always, like with all investments in the stock market.
Absolutely. It's not a sure thing. And you should definitely consider all aspects before you invest your money. It's really your hard earned money at stake.
So, before we wrap up, it is also good for listeners to know that they can like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel if they found this helpful.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It helps us a lot when you guys like, share, and subscribe, and helps us keep creating this kind of content.
Absolutely. Well, this was super insightful. Thanks for breaking down Denta Water for me. And hopefully for our listeners,
No problem at all. It's always good to have a thorough discussion. I guess it's up to everyone to decide if this is the right investment for them.
Exactly. Well, any final thoughts before we wrap up?
Just that it's important to stay informed and do your due diligence before investing in any IPO, not just this one, right?
Absolutely. And that's great advice, for everyone listening. Well, thanks again for the discussion.
Yeah, anytime.